How do you feel? Oh, blah, blah, blah. Hey everyone, and welcome to my channel. I'm Nikki.
I'm Adam.
And today's video is a continuation of our last Q&A. So we are just gonna go ahead and pick up where we left off with some Q&A questions about our weight loss journey. So if you enjoyed this video, please go ahead and give it a like and subscribe to my channel, and let's get started. Okay, have you ever tried any other WW plans or calorie counting? What is it about Blue that you like? So you know, to other color plans, we already said that, but calorie counting, like years ago when we were in college and stuff, we tried it and failed every time. So yeah, what is it about Blue that you like?
I think the amount of 0 point foods, because that was always huge, especially with that calorie counting. It was always like I'd have a fruit and I'd feel like, okay, well that's like part of my calories. But when you eat the 0 point foods, yeah, it doesn't show up as points, but you feel more full when you because a lot of meals she likes to incorporate as many 0 point foods as we can. I think that's huge for the Blue plan, at least for us, is the 0 point foods with like eggs and chicken and
yeah, because we like to fill up on that. We like to fill up on proteins and stuff like that. So I think if we were on like the purple plan, I don't know, I just feel like that would give us too much freedom with carbs because we like our carbs. I think it helps to be able to track rice and stuff like that. And I think the green plan would just be too much for me, too much tracking, because you have to track a lot more. I don't know. I just think Blue is just a really good balance for us. Yeah. It works with the type of meals we like to eat, so. I need some help with motivation to work out. Okay, what I have to say about this is find something you enjoy, because that was what made it so hard for me. Every time I failed in the past, I was forcing myself to run on the elliptical. I was forcing myself to run outside. We were signing up for half marathons. Like, we were doing exercises that we hated. We were miserable. Like, we would dread it. And then after it, we were like, okay, now we just want to splurge on food because we just worked so hard doing something we hated. So now finding activities that we like and enjoy, like rollerblading, I look forward to every single day that I do it. And it just is like a release for me. I get to listen to my music. I'm getting activity in. Like, it's just such a great way for me to work out. And it doesn't feel like I'm dreading it. I seriously never dread my skates. And even if I do, even if I'm like, okay, I'm tired, I don't feel like getting out, but I just put my skates on, within 5 minutes, I'm like, thank God I did this. This is so good. This is what I needed. And I feel so good. And same thing with working out. Like when it comes to lifting weights, I go to the gym and I only do the lifts that I enjoy. So for leg day, I'm only doing the leg day workouts that I really enjoy. I'm not forcing myself to go do a bunch of burpees because I hate burpees. There are certain machines there that I'm not comfortable on or that I don't enjoy doing. I just don't do them. And I enjoy doing squats and I enjoy doing lunges and I enjoy shoulder press. So like that is what I base my workouts around, and that way I enjoy my workouts and I look forward to my workouts. So I think just finding things you enjoy, even if it comes down to the specific exercises you're doing, it makes such a difference.
That's pretty much it, is just find stuff you enjoy. Like we played tennis a bunch. I got back into basketball, which I've always wanted to do, but I couldn't get up and down the court without being out of breath. So finding stuff that you enjoy doing makes it so much easier to do it.
Yep. Do you feel more motivated and have more energy since changing your diet? Yes. It is amazing. Like we feel 10 years younger. Oh yeah. Seriously. It's crazy. I
wish my knees said that, but
yeah. It's just insane. And of course, it's not every day that we feel motivated. Like there are a lot of days I don't feel motivated, but 100% have more energy and just feel all around better. I feel so much more like I can do the things I want to do. And so much of that is just with what we eat and fueling our bodies. And it's amazing because there are days where we go to eat a dinner and I'm like, okay, this is a lot of food. Like we are about to eat a lot of food. And usually that's what just makes me feel so blah and like, and because these meals are so nourishing and full of vegetables and just healthy foods, I eat it and I feel so good after. I actually feel like nourished and satisfied, and it is a feeling that I never used to get before because we would eat these same size meals from a fast food restaurant and then I would feel horrible after. I would feel achy and sick and nauseous and just, I don't feel that way like I used to. So that has helped so much with energy and motivation. Do you roller skate outdoors only, or do you recommend indoor skating as well and for a beginner? I'm just kidding. So because of COVID, indoor wasn't even an option like when I first started rollerblading, but now I think they've like opened up Indoor, honestly, we don't have many places around us to do indoor, but if that's an option for you, definitely I recommend it. I think it's a lot of fun. I remember doing it when I was younger all the time. That's what got me into rollerblading to begin with, but I just prefer to do it outside because that's what's been available to me, I guess. When it comes to rollerblading, I like to do that just out on the streets. That sounds funny. I like to just do it on like, I find like smooth streets or paths. And then when I do roller skates, I like to go to like a skate park or just like a parking lot that's smooth. But I don't know, for a beginner, I just say try to find a smooth place. I know a lot of people that even do roller skating just in their kitchen. So whatever works best for you, honestly. If you could change anything about WW, what would it be?
I know when you track stuff and you enter it in, it shows all the stuff, but maybe a better showing of like the macros you've had for the day.
Oh yeah, so even more so like I track by time. I track by it shows calories and stuff like that. So maybe if WW, it shows like the item you scan, but it doesn't always show your macros. I do agree that would be nice if it showed
just in
that.
general, I think that'd be for people who... And
I've talked about this in like my pros and cons video about WW, the like focus on sugar-free foods and stuff like that. That's not really WW as a whole. That's just kind of how like the community's gone and stuff like that, which is understandable. It's 0 point foods, 1 point foods. Like that's the whole point. You're trying to find these low point foods, but I just think less of a focus on that would be pretty good. How do you get in the mindset that once the points are used, you're done eating? I don't really do that. I mean, I guess I just really try to space my points out, but if it comes down to it and I'm feeling hungry, I'm gonna eat something. Usually, obviously, I'll try to get a 0 point food in. So I guess 0 point foods have made me not feel that way that I'm like done eating after, because I know I can always go have an apple or an egg or something like that, or some chicken or something, like a hard-boiled egg.
It's just an egg.
Whatever. So I think that's actually helped me not feel like I'm like, shoot, I'm not going to be able to eat if I finish my points, because I know I always have 0 point foods as an option.
And I think weeklies too are huge for that. Like if you...
Yeah, that too.
If you
but even if you go out of your weeklies, I think.
Yeah, that's true.
Because we've run out of weeklies. Yeah.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, I mean...
Most of the weeks we do that, like, that's when you kind of feel the best.
Yeah.
Because you've eaten most of your stuff. I don't know.
That's a hard.
That is a hard one.
If you have an item that is 1 point for one, but 3 points for two, and you eat one in the morning and another one later that night, do you count the second one as 1 point again or 2 points? Okay, that's seriously like a WW riddle. But, so technically, no. I would just track them separate both times.
Yes. So
I would actually track whatever the item is, because actually that does happen. So like sometimes with cheese, or like he just looked up a fiber 1 bar. So 1 fiber 1 bar is 2 smart points, but 2 is 5. So if I have 1 in the morning and 1 at night, which I do very frequently actually, because I like to have 1 for breakfast, and then a lot of times if I want a sweet thing for dessert, that's what I'm reaching for sometimes. So no, I track them separately. I would track it for breakfast as 2 points and for dinner as 2 points, or snack is 2 points. Yeah. Unless it happens to be like 2 snacks, then it goes in my snack section. I guess it depends on wherever I'm tracking the food. I do specifically track per meal though, so. Okay, is there something specific that keeps you motivated or had motivated you when you were having a hard time sticking to plan?
At the beginning, I think we both kind of motivated each other. Mm-hmm. And then when the scale wasn't looking like we wanted it to, especially for me, I had 2 different times that I kind of felt down that I wasn't losing, or I didn't feel like I was losing. And then she's like, let me take a picture. And she showed me a transformation picture. And I was like, okay, that makes me feel a bit better.
Yeah. Just feeling how much better we feel with this new lifestyle. Like, I don't want to go back to that. Yes. I don't want to feel the way I felt before. Just even like the stomach aches and the difficulty breathing and pain, just I don't know, everything, the worry, the stuff that was going on in my head because of it. Like honestly, I just never want to go back to that, and that has kept me so motivated. Like more than anything, that has kept me motivated. And honestly, there are times too where we will have like a fast food meal and I just feel so awful after it, or like a lot of processed food or sugar or something like that, and I just, the way I feel after, it's just not worth it. And then it gets me back on track always, and it just keeps me motivated. So I think that just feeling how much better we felt has been huge.
Yeah, that's a good answer.
Thanks. Why did you choose blue? It just assigned it to both of us, right? We both got assigned.
Yeah, you had to like pick.
Because honestly, we didn't know what the colors really meant when we first started WW. So we were like, oh, blue, we're just doing it. Yeah. And we just pretty much went with it.
Kind of glad we did.
I'm really glad we did. Can you recommend low point snacks you enjoy? So I will put some of my snack videos below. I have a lot of snack videos about our favorite snacks. So I will tag those below. But snacks we eat like daily, like Chomps. I have a Chomps pretty much every single day. Those are 1 smart point for the ones I like. All the turkey ones are 1 point. Fiber One bars are something we have very consistently. Like popcorners or Skinny Pop or Pitos.
Yep.
We have our favorite chips, a lot of those, or like crackers kind of things. Those jalapeno cheese sticks from WW are only 1 point. That's a snack that I like to have a lot. I don't know, I think that's probably...
Those are some good, points.
But yeah, like I said, I'll link some of my favorite snacks below.
Link below.
If you're planning to eat a higher point meal, say a holiday or event, how do you alter your eating leading up to it? So before, a lot of times, like before we started this journey, we would like not eat before events. Like we would just wait because we first of all would want to eat the food there. Now we make sure that we eat and we drink our water before, and we are like, it's pretty much like a normal day, or if anything, sometimes we eat more. We'll actually plan to eat a meal before the event, because then we are so less tempted to eat the food there. We'll still eat the food. We don't restrict anything if we see something we want. But honestly, just going to events, being like full or fed, like it just helps us a lot. And then we know the points we tracked, because a lot of times you don't know the points you're tracking at an event or something like that. So that way we're able to get like most of the day. But I never restrict going up to it. I don't like, sometimes I know people will be like, I want to save my points for later in the day, and then they just won't eat anything all morning. Like, no, we have found that eating before actually helps us so much more.
Definitely.
How do you balance out when you've accidentally eaten too many points? For example, you're stuck outside the house without WW friendly options. I mean, that's happened a few times, and pretty much you just track and move on. That's usually what happens.
Get back on track after.
Yeah.
Because one day's not gonna, like, that's the one thing you gotta remember, is one day's not gonna make or break it, but a consistency.
And honestly, I think stressing about it has a worse effect than actually just eating the food. So for us, we just track it and move on. Random, but when you're making 2-ingredient dough, if you let it rest for longer than 10 minutes, will there be any benefit? I don't think it really matters technically with the 2-ingredient dough, because there's no yeast in it, so I don't think it would make much of a difference. I usually just try to let ours rest for like 5 or 10 minutes on the stove. I think that that helps get it a little bit like fluffier, but I don't know. I really don't think that it would make much of a difference if you left it longer. What's been the hardest part about losing weight? I mean, for me personally, I think it's just been all the mental side of it, the mindset. Like we've talked about, staying motivated when maybe we get down or you're not seeing progress. I think just finding different ways to stay motivated has been a challenge, but we've been able to do it. Yeah, I don't know. I think it is a mental journey, and it's not just a mental journey in the beginning to make the switch and make the change in the lifestyle. It is consistent. You have to work on your mental wellness and your mindset around this new lifestyle change. So I think that's probably been the hardest part for me, is just working on my mindset and my mentality about things, and just my relationship with food in general.
I think from the start was making that change, and then thinking because whenever we've done like try to do diets or calorie count or whatever, we always think, well, we can't eat this, we can't eat that. And I think getting that mindset where I can eat this, but I have to eat it in moderation. I have to like weigh stuff out, like getting the portion size right. And that's what helps with like WW and everything. I think that was one of the hardest transitions, was realizing that all the portions I was eating before were so bad, and then I can actually eat a good portion size and it fills me up. But it took me a little while to do that, and that I need to use all my points, because for the first 2 weeks she had 20 less points than me, and I was only eating the food she was eating. And so I didn't feel full, and I was like, this doesn't really make sense.
Yeah.
And it kind of felt like how we were doing like our other weight loss stuff that didn't really work for us. So I think realizing that you can eat the foods you want to, but just in moderation.
Yeah. And then what's been the easiest thing about losing weight? I mean, for me personally, it's been the cooking and the coming up with meals. I have wanted to get back into cooking for so long. I just haven't given myself time to, or like made it a priority. And so for me, cooking meals is like my happy place a lot of the time. And so I just have a lot of fun with it. And I don't know, I think coming up with meals has made the journey even easier. So eating the meals, and yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, that's hard. I don't know. Yeah, it hasn't been that easy.
I mean, it's been a challenge. That's why I'm saying, like, it's not specifically easy. I think your easiest thing has just been eating the meals I make you.
Well, yeah, that's definitely the easiest thing, is having amazing meals made for me, because I can't cook. I think actually after a while, like, one of the easiest things was to like continue to track everything, because you kind of get in the mindset of, I'm gonna eat this, okay, let me track it, how many points is it?
So I guess like the point system.
Yeah, like that's one of the biggest things that I think WW brought for me, is putting points in everything, so I can look at something and be like, if that's 6, do I really want that? If that's 4, I can have that and have 2 extra points or something like that.
What is your go-to low or 0 smart point snack other than fruit or yogurt? That was kind of like the other question we answered. Chomps. So yeah, I'd be like Chomps, or if Fiber One bars.
Yeah.
0 point snacks though. Hard boiled eggs, which we haven't made those in a while, but I used to do those a lot. And I would just mash them up in a cup with just some like mustard and salt and pepper.
Applesauce for me.
Oh yeah, and sugar-free Jello.
Sugar-free Jello, sugar-free pudding, pickles, yeah.
How do you guys work on keeping each other accountable?
I think at the beginning we kind of like fed off each other's like energy about all this and how positive we were trying to be towards it and like changing our whole lifestyle instead of
we like not telling anyone else about it and kind of making it just like fun.
That was huge.
And just us knowing that we were doing it and so I don't know, it was motivating.
And not trying to make it like a competition with everything, just know that we were bettering ourselves.
Yeah, because we had actually said that because in the past when we would try to lose weight, we would always make it a contest. Like who could lose more, whoever would lose more would get a prize, even though we never even made it that far.
Yeah.
But when it became a competition, I don't know, it was just so different. And so we said starting this, like we're just going to help each other. We're not going to tell anyone. We're just going to build each other up and like do it ourselves and see what we can do. And I think that was huge. And like I said, we get excited every morning. We'd go wake each other up and be like, okay, weigh-in day. Like him helping me weigh stuff out for meals or track meals as I'm making them, like really helped. Yeah, I think just that. I think just not making it a competition. And we were both willing to make changes. We both were so fed up and just willing to make change.
Yeah.
Also not a question, but suggestion, you should try Mio water enhancement. Some flavors have electrolytes and are good. They add in their plain yogurt. So we love Mio. Yeah. Adam's all about Mio. That's what he puts in his greens. We haven't tried it in yogurt. We'll try that.
That does sound good.
Why did you choose WW over low carb keto? Because we like carbs.
Yep.
I joke about this a lot, but like you won't find me eating a burger without a bun. We didn't want to restrict, and we knew with WW the whole thing was that you could have anything you wanted, and so we were going to try to work that program and see how it would work for us. So we knew in the past we've done like juicing and stuff like that. We've done restrictive diets.
Yeah, restricting ourselves just never worked for us. So being able to
keto wouldn't have.
No, trying to restrict on that would not have worked.
And honestly, yeah, a majority of my meals, like I said, I base them around 0 point foods and protein, but also I make sure to add the carbs because that is what always keeps me full. If I have a bowl without the rice, I notice I'm not nearly as full as if I put the rice in it. What supplements do you take and where can I find the greens? So both of us take the same supplements pretty much. We both do greens every morning. Well, you pretty much do them. Okay, so we both do greens every morning. They're Bloom Nutrition brand. I can link them below. I have a code that is Nikki5 for 5% off. So if you guys are interested, those are the greens we drink every day. He drinks a different brand sometimes he drinks mine. Yeah. But we also drink our collagen, which is also Bloom brand. We really like the chocolate flavor. I just ordered the vanilla. I'm excited to try that out.
I've been having a lot of that chocolate collagen.
Yeah, he keeps taking my chocolate. No, but we take collagen every day to help with mainly with the health of our skin. Then we also drink pre-workout before we work out, not every day. But again, that's the Bloom Nutrition brand that we're using. Sometimes we use protein powder if we're making like protein shakes or recipes with protein. But other than that, we don't really take any supplements like consistently. So most important for us is our greens and our collagen.
Yes.
Do you guys eat all of your daily points? How about weeklies? So we kind of mentioned that before. We do eat all our dailies. We do eat all our weeklies. Do you ever track calories? I do both, and sometimes I find I'm not eating all of my points when I get my daily calorie goal or vice versa. Just trying to find a happy medium is hard for me sometimes. So with me personally, because I focus so much on eating 0 point foods, and those I wouldn't track if I tracked calories, like those keep me so much fuller. That's why I just don't even like to track calories. I think, I don't know, for some reason the point system works really well for me.
Same.
And I think it's because we eat so many 0 point foods. I really do. Because that keeps us so full, and I think it helps us. We're still getting our calories for the day with the points we're tracking, and then the additional 0 point foods. I don't know. So, do you deal with late night snacking? And if yes, what do you do? Yes, definitely. We both do. And I feel like I've been more sweet lately, and you've been more like salty.
I've been more salty.
But we let ourselves eat. What we do is we have a lot of good low point options. So I have some good low point desserts. I've been just loving like berries with whipped cream on like different types of like cookies. So like there's these almond wafer type cookies from Trader Joe's that I can have 6 of them for 5 points. That's been like a go-to dessert of mine, or just like different lower point things like that. Fiber One bars like I mentioned before. So just having those low point options that I could even eat in volume if I really want to have a bigger snack.
For some reason, my habanero barbecue nuts are almost like a little sweet but salty. It's like the perfect mix for me, so I'll sometimes have that later at night.
Yeah. And yeah, a lot of times it's just, you just track it, and knowing that you have to track what you eat helps me to actually portion it out a lot of the times. But again, I don't restrict. And I've mentioned this before, a lot of times before I'm going to have a snack, I eat an apple first if I haven't had my apple for the day, and I drink a glass of water, and that really helps to fill me up a lot, but then I'm still able to get that like craving I want, and I have some of the snack, but it's so much easier to portion it out and still be satisfied. So that wraps up both parts of our Q&A. That was a lot of questions, so thank you guys so much for the questions. We really like doing this, and I hope it helps to hear from our personal experience, both from me and Adam. I know it helps for other men to hear from him as well. I get a lot of people mention like their husbands are doing it with them and stuff, and it helps to hear what Adam's doing. So hope you guys found this helpful, and we will see you next time.